sports cities. We have Javier Tebas, the president of LaLiga, for whichever you need. Well, good evening. Sorry I'm a bit late, but the traffic was dense. Normally, I'm present during all La Liga Genuine events, so it's not that I'm here because of the Football Club Barcelona event, but I'm not very often in Barcelona, so I'm here to answer whichever questions you want to ask. First, let's talk about the center of this situation, this event of Football Club Barcelona. We have to clarify things, and in some places even better. As far as the sports discipline is concerned, what happens with the Negreira case, what we knew until yesterday, what we knew a little bit today because of the media, is a kind of irregularity. Some facts which are time barred from the point of view of sports discipline. So that no entity, La Liga, the Federation, we have our statutes, we could have started some investigation to kind of sanction if we could have done that, but you know, this event is time barred, and so you know, some investigation for disciplinary action because of an irregularity. Well, I am aware that everything's time barred from the sports sphere, but not from the criminal law. I must say that La Liga, on many occasions, we've been very active in this sphere if there were some kind of signs of misbehavior or sports fraud. So we've been very active in the Osasuna case, and recently, after several years, two players have been condemned, and two Osasuna managers. We've been very active, and the federation was not present there, and we were very active in the Zaragoza case, where the players of that game, of that match, were not condemned. And also we were active in the Huesca case and many categories of Spanish soccer. In this case, the topic is under investigation by the prosecutor's office. It is a process that's been started by the prosecutor's office, not yet at the courts. And we, the La Liga and the Federation, we are not parties, so we cannot kind of have access to documents, because this is a process started by the prosecutor's office, theoretically for 6 months, but the term may be enlarged, which may be the case because of what I've read in the communication media. At La Liga, after studying the legal aspects of this topic, if with the signs that we have, that we know we must start a kind of legal complaint, well, I think we would be an obstacle of the investigation, because if that complaint would be accepted, it would have to go to the court, and everything would be delayed if we want to shed some light on the case. So I'm speaking as a lawyer and as a president of La Liga and as a person knowledgeable in this criminal law, especially because we want clarification. La Liga, we are not investigating. We're not doing anything because it's time barred. But if the prosecutor's office would lodge a complaint, we would also become kind of we would be involved, would be lodging complaints at the courts, so that this would be investigated. And that doesn't mean that Football Club Barcelona or Mr. Negreira are culprits, but because of the amounts of the invoices, what we've been able to read of the statement by Mr. and the statement before the Treasury office by Mr. Negreira, or the Bureau of Facts published in the Daily El Mundo this morning, it seems that there are some signs, okay, there's no crime yet, but there are kind of indications. And so in the sports sphere, because of these events down barred, we cannot be involved. But in the criminal law, the kind of time is longer. We may speak of 10 years, but I'm not going to enter that kind of discussion, that legal discussion of what is time barred or expires. So we haven't lodged any complaints because the prosecutor's office is investigating, and we do not want to be an obstacle for that investigation. Let's see how it ends in a few months, I hope. And because the criminal kind of expiration would be the year 2023. So now, if you have questions, I'm willing to answer questions. I can hear you, but we need the microphone for everyone to hear. Is the La Liga fair play and honesty, La Liga honesty, questioned because of this event? No, this is payments which are not clear. There are some amounts. I don't know whether this would have affected the score of matches. Even though we are La Liga, I do not like that. This is not correct. And the facts because of which payments have been made. So you may interpret as you like, you may have doubts, but La Liga cannot remain passive in front of these facts. So there are indications that something is not right, and that led to misbehavior by the referees. I'm not sure, but the mere fact of attempting to do that, this is something that would be liable to kind of being sentenced or condemned. And the fact that there are some services given because of what I know as of today, because of communication media, this is not a usual thing that must happen, this kind of advice, counseling provided as a service. As I was saying, the amount of the invoices, of the bills, the Mr. Negreira's statement, and speaking of neutral referees, this is not logical in the sphere of fair play in a competition. And the vice president of the referees committee, that wouldn't be fair. So clarifications needed. We need enough clarifications, not just statements by the people involved. I think people must shed light upon this and give clarifications. Are you unable to talk to some of the presidents, Mr. José María Bartomeu, Joan Laporta? No. They have my phone number if they want to call me. I don't think I have to call them because of the situation, because the facts are what they are, and that must be clarified. And by the prosecutor's office in Barcelona, they're investigating the fact. We cannot do anything in the sports sphere, so if the prosecutor's office need our collaboration, we'll help. There the news published by your colleagues. We do not like this event at all, and so those who want to clarify things, they have to talk to the prosecutor's office in charge of the investigation. It could be. It could be. That's among the possibilities, but we that must be investigated. But we could be. I've written a book about kind of match fixing in sport, and I've seen attempts to fix matches or games. Someone kind of being paid by the two clubs, the two parties. You know, I've seen things like that. Like saying, I'm going to buy the referee, and he talked to the two clubs, you know. So it wouldn't seem strange to me. I don't know whether Football Club Barcelona had that belief. That must be clarified. We are all adults. So it would be surprising that people would believe that in doing things that way for so many years. So in the criminal law sphere, if there's a crime, that's not time bar yet. And so if something happens, we won't hide. We'll be there. If Football Club Barcelona has been cheated, then we'll see. And if Mr. Negreira has cheated, we don't know. You see, so legal entities may also be responsible. So either Negreira because of a cheater, or both, or well, you mentioned Negreira, so it could be. It wouldn't seem strange to me, as I can see the circumstances as they are. What I know from CTA is what I heard from Medina Cantalejo. I asked for explanations. The professional soccer referees committee, not the CTA, but a committee kind of appoints referees for years. So the committee has a referee appointed by LaLiga, then Puentes Leira, and the president of the referees committee, Sanchez Arminio. At the time, we in LaLiga, we've been talking to Nieto and to see whether Mr. Negreira kind of called for the appointment of referees, and both said no. So you know, so that's what we've done. I am in direct contact with those people. The president of CTA depends more from the federation, but I talked to the other two people, and they said that there has no pressure whatsoever, or they didn't have any pressure. So please, since the microphones are not working, perhaps Mr. Javier Tebas could repeat the question so that we will hear it. During these months, Gavi will play. The matter was whether Gavi was kind of inscribed for the second team and now for the first team. So we have a few days of term, you know, for the caution, and so he is kind of a player of the first team with this cautionary measure. We shall see. We will oppose that cautionary measure, and we have a few days to answer. if this event was not time barred, if it hadn't, if it wasn't time barred, then of course we would have started a file, a dossier, if that was not time barred. You see, I mean, this is hypothesis, but of course we would have started a kind of investigation, and then the person involved would have been the judge of social discipline, but I cannot intervene there because that would be a sanction according to the bylaws. From just kind of comments about what has been done to being relegated to the second division, but I cannot appraise that. You see, if it was not time barred, then a kind of investigation and dossier would have been opened. Well, you asked a question that some referees have declared that the presence of Negreira was testimonial. Well, why should I say just the opposite? I think it was Urizar Afitate and some more. So it would be more the version that he was kind of selling nothing, and the very naive Barcelona managers believed him. Everything is very surprising, but it's really, really severe, you know, and it's kind of being very deleterious for Spanish football. Well, we'll see. The prosecutor's office is not investigating because they kind of threw an apple. It was the, you know, it was the Treasury which kind of acknowledged some facts, and then the prosecutor's office called Bartomeu, Albert Soler, Oscar Grau as well. So this is not a conspiration, machination, but of course there's a lot of media noise. I don't know, some people may emphasize more things. You know better than me. You know, you may kind of make noise about whoever, even me. We are adults. We know who are more objective or less objective, you know. But it's not a matter of the media from Madrid. The facts are objective, and the prosecutor's office is investigating this kind of matter because it has to be investigated. Well, no, I haven't seen any kind of strange or strange matches, but all those matches which were fixed and those we took to court, it was not easy to see that there was match fixing. It's very complicated, you know, that in the refereeing world there are performances by referees now with so much TV coverage. I mean, it would be very complicated for them to do that. In the Moji case, because there has been some comparisons with that, it was not because there were referees taking decisions, given decisions in some match. It's because the decision of a referee's appointment was influenced. So that was the sentencing of the Moji case, not because they said that such referee influenced the score of a Juventus match. You know, they attempted to influence the appointment of referees, but not here. I don't remember. I don't remember. It's impossible. No. But that does not mean that there are not criminal behavior. There's no criminal behavior because just the attempt would be criminal. Just attempting to offer, okay, I would like you to influence a score, even if the score was not influenced, of course, that kind of lays the ground, paves the ground for investigating. But it's strange that so much time has gone by since those deeds. Well, you've given me some data. I do not know them. But the prosecutor's office they've been investigating for 6 months. When the prosecutor's office intervenes in some kind of crimes, they are very discreet. And the Treasury as well. You see, Mr. Negreira, I don't think the Treasury is very, very kind of careful. Nobody knew. Bartomeu, Sule, and Grau have kind of declared recently, so the Inland Revenue Service is very discreet. Well, you know, if, as I said before, if whatever's appearing in the media today would have appeared in 2019, the crime would not be time barred. We would have started this kind of proceedings or investigational dossier if we had known for sure, you know, the news as we have them today at that time. If there was some kind of criminal conviction and no consequence for Barça, the fact that there are no kind of disciplinary dossiers does not mean that there would be kind of conviction. There's two different routes. There are civil suits because someone owes you money and you start proceedings, and sometimes you go along the criminal law route because that's a swindle, you know. So there are two routes. There's the administrative route, which is ours, and we cannot continue because this was time barred. But now the sports law has changed now. But in these severe situations in sports law, I mean, the time is 3 years, you know. So there are sanctions by the league, and they do not go along the administrative route, and we changing the kind of expiry time or expiration time from 3 to 5 years because 3 seemed very little. And to your comment now, I won't extend on that. I wouldn't speculate. Whenever I talk to the communication media, when there are facts like this, you know, this it's like a 90-minute match. You want to know whether they're going to be convicted, whatever. The world of judicial investigation is kind of something long-lasting. We shall see whether the prosecutor's office, because of the documents and statements in the months remaining, if they consider that there's a crime, then they will have to kind of start the proceedings. For the moment, let's wait. Let's not speculate because we would create uncertainty. So that's why I wanted to leave it very clear that there are no sports sanctions. I said that from the very first moment because I didn't want people to speculate, because that would damage even more our competition, Football Club Barcelona and Barcelona Football Club environment. Clubs have referees as counselors, but they are not exerting their professional activity as referees any longer. They are former referees, and they tend to be kind of counselors, but they are not professionally active within the referees committee, because since I've been a president, I would have intervened. I wouldn't care about which club it would have been, because that's a kind of there's a conflict of interests there, and so people wouldn't be happy about that. The fact is that Mr. Negreira was active within the committee of referees, and so the problem is if there are councillors who are active within the referees committee. We are going to oppose that, because it's a cautionary measure, you see, and we are opposing it, and then a resolution would be issued, and we'll see. We are going to oppose first, and then we shall see what we do. You see. Well, this is a topic of financial control. If our opposition would be kind of accepted, and Gavi will continue playing, but not as a member of the first squad, the first team, but the second team. In order to kind of have those players playing for the first team, they must justify the financial conditions. If they prove that they comply with the financial conditions and requirements, of course, he could play with the first team, because the losses with which they would start the next season would be less than a given amount, because here they started this season with some financial losses, but that doesn't mean that the player won't be part of the first team, even if the opposition would be accepted. But Football Club Barcelona, they know what they have to do to solve the matter. Okay, so let me say goodbye to you all. I would like to come to Barcelona more often to give explanations, not just about this matter, which is unpleasant to me, but I would like to talk about other topics, such as Gabi's financial measures. We have nothing against Football Club Barcelona, but I'm glad that we are here because of LaLiga Genuine, which is very important for us. I invite you to stay for the opening of the LaLiga Genuine event this year, and I hope to come more often here to Barcelona. This is a debt I have with Barcelona. So that we do not contact each other so much by streaming, but being here in person. I would like to be here more often. So thank you very much to everyone.